Hello, good morning. No, it's not morning, it's 2:20. I wake up late, you could say. So, today we are halfway through Orphan Black Season 4. So cry-worthy. Do you like my eyes today? I don't know whether I did a very good job. It went quite far out on that side. So, but I thought persevere with it because otherwise I look half dead if I don't wear makeup. So today, hello Kazima. Yes, if you wonder why I've only got 3 there, it's because my #1 fan, my mum, gave me the tip of you need to look front ways in the camera because she just wants to slap my face not slap my face, but turn my face that way. So current filming setup is we have the Kazima Funko Pop on top of the camera, blue tacked, so I look this way. Hopefully it works. But yeah, today I am here to talk. Oh, that's a horrible look. I might just be image conscious, you could say. I'm not vain, I'm just image conscious. Today we are here to talk to you about the episode that was Human Raw Material. I don't know where the time's gone. Part of me wants to get all the other episodes now because I'm like, I need to know what's going on. And part of me is like, I don't want this to end. Please promise me a season 5 because I cannot cope. Really, I cannot cope. If there's no season 5, I will cry. I will write a strongly worded letter to whoever decides this sort of thing. Be like, you need to bring it back. I mean, especially because I think they only plan to do it for like 5 seasons, so the endings anyway, which I also cry about because it's such a good show. I don't want it to ever end, but you don't want it to be like one of those TV shows that just keep running and running and running and running, and you just sort of think, stop now, you're getting a little old. That episode was kind of I was just so like, whoa. And I actually read an article that a lot of like the Orphan Black Twitter groups, love you guys, can I just say, have been circulating, and I'll link it in the thingy below, but it's about like how this only like Orphan Black, not only, but like this is the perfect they are the perfect opportunity to talk about genetics and feminism, and almost a case of like what could happen if science went too far. I'm not very good at remembering, so I'd read the article for yourself. I understood it, just my memory is warped. So let's get on with this. Crystal, I loved Crystal. Like, it amazes me each time they bring in, well, Crystal's not new, but like each time they bring in sort of a clone that sort of is not a regular, like a newish sort of edition. It amazes me how Tatiana Maslany and Catherine Alexandre, it's like Dre, so I don't know if it's Dra or Dra. Let's go with Catherine Alexandre. Can sort of almost make it seem like, well, not almost, but like make it seem like this is a totally new person. It's not all played by the same actress. Like, I was saying this to my mum. Apparently there are talks, and now I'm forcing you into doing this, of a Orphan Black UK convention, which I'm all for. And I said to my mum, if there is one, I don't know how I'd cope if they got Tatiana Maslany, because I'd sort of be like, oh, so where's Alison? No. And then it would take a minute for my mind to sort of think, they're all this one person. It still confuses my head when I think about it. She's talking to her karate, jiu-jitsu, self-defense trainer, saying that her boyfriend was killed. That got me thinking, you know, Beth, she had the blonde wig, and we all sort of thought she was going to kill her Crystal's monitor. What if she killed her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was her monitor? Or she thought he was her monitor, but he wasn't her monitor, and she killed him, and that's why she jumped in front of the train. Because she killed an innocent. Oh, just saying. Just saying in the direction I have to say. Just saying. The scenes with Kira and Sarah in this episode, I thought it was really lovely that sort of, not Sarah got a backseat, but sort of we got to see mother and daughter and they're sort of painting. But then the text from Helena, who we all know, she left last week, going, "Don't worry about me," says Jeff. Like, of course everyone's gonna worry about you. Nice, what's my hair doing? This week it's all about Cosima. And that they've made a flow chart for everything that Evie Cho and sort of that area are in partnership with Gene Connection, owned by Dyad. What is Gene Connection? Gene Connection is the company that Adele used to track down Felix. Alarm bells ringing? I think so. And then when they're talking about the open day, and Alison's like, oh, about pretending to be Sarah, going, I don't know. Sarah thinks, like, after Cosima's like, what are you gonna do there? She's like, I don't know, Sarah thinks, skulk around, look miserable, con people. Like, Alice still sort of has the same view of Sarah, technically, as she did all the way back in season 1. And then the fact that Donnie is so sort of like, I have to know the schematics of it, I have to know just so I can act it right. Then we go to Felix and Sarah. Sarah visits with Kira at his flat, and I'm just sort of like, I need my Bonnie and Clyde back. I need my Thelma and Louise. Like, I can't have these two arguing. Not he's putting a dampener on it. I mean, I like it, but I sort of don't like it, does it? I mean, it's sort of like, I think if it runs on for too long though, I think people could be a bit like, come on now, get your act together. In a good way or a bad way, I don't know. At the minute though, I'm sort of like, just pull yourselves together. Although I do still think Adele is a bit sketch. I'm not too sure about her. Evie Cho is at this Brightborn open day, and she knows what the clowns look like. So awkward. And then we skip back to Sarah asking Scott if he's able to do a DNA test. And then there's Scott trying to sort of be like, if you tell me what you want it for, I'll tell you where Cosima is. Trying to keep secrets. So yeah, she wants to do a DNA test on Felix and Adele to check they really are siblings. Go back to Brightborn, and then this lady's showing Cosima and Donnie a picture of her child who she had through Brightborn. And I couldn't help but notice the blonde hair and the blue eyes. It just sort of, it took me back to like, you know, like Hitler and everything, but when Hitler was trying to create his perfect human race, it was blonde hair and blue eyes. It sort of, you could say it mirrors to Orphan Black, like they're taking, not inspiration from it, but like, but why is that mark on Evie's cheek? Because it wasn't there when she met Beth. So did that mean Beth did that? It's fascinating to get a backstory on Evie, her being like the bubble girl, because she had like an immune disorder that sort of prevented her from being a normal teenager, I suppose. And sort of why she is on the path she is, if that makes sense. Like then we get Crystal. And the way she's just sort of like, I'm late, oh my god, I'm late for my own pregnancy. That's me. I'm like, I could be late for my own pregnancy. Do you know what I mean? That's how late I go. I'm a very late person. And I'm just like, I've heard so much about you guys, I can't wait to have my own little Brightborn baby. And I love how she's doing her own investigation. Like, she could be the dark horse of this show, you know, with all her investigations. And then Cosima is doing her snooping. And then I'm sort of like, we see Susan Duncan and Ira. Like, is this where she's been sneaking off to when she's not with Rachel? And they mistook Crystal for Sarah. Like rookie mistakes. And then Donnie and the babe. I thought that was so sweet. Like, I was so sad. And then when Crystal and Donnie meet, it's Donnie's face that you just sort of sit there and think. Yeah. And then where he's holding the baby, and then like Crystal's like going over the baby, and he's like, I have to go shoot. Like, perfect timing, Donnie. Dirty copper Marty. Oh my god. When I watched this scene, I thought I wanted to punch him in the face. That's a good acting job. If I want to punch you in the face, that's good news. As much as it sounds bad news. And he knows about the murders and Pouch's murders and the drugs with Alison. So it's sort of like, he's sort of not blackmailing Art, but almost sort of like, we could have them arrested for all of this. So I think this is because Art confronted him over visiting Beth. And then we have Sarah and Kira's little moment, which is so sweet. Any moment between them two is really sweet. So she rings Alison to sort of be like, you know, Art said, you're drug dealers. And she's like, please tell me you're not drug dealers. And then Alison's like, former, yes, we dabbled briefly in prescription pharmaceuticals, but that's all done now. And then she's like, I recall when we met, you were trying to offload a kilo of cocaine. Sarah sort of was a drifter and, you know, a grifter, that's it. And sort of taking what she can. Whereas Alison's got this lovely life. She's a suburban mum, you know. 2 kids, sort of perfect home life. Until you look under the covers that they've had to sell drugs and stuff. I thought that was quite interesting. And then we go back to Brightbourne and we see Cosima and Susan Duncan. Yes, a sentence I never thought I'd say. And she's sort of talking about, what do you do with the embryos that they don't use? Do they automatically become property of Brightbourne? And Susan Duncan, who says she's Susan but she doesn't say her name is Duncan just yet, to Cosima, is like, they're donated and they're for research. What kind of research? And then Cosima's sort of like, all the babies have dimples, like, that can't be just a coincidence, you know? And also that, she's talking about embryonic enhancements and screening processes, and she goes on to talk about they're not doing are they doing germline editing because it's illegal in a lot of different countries, in most countries. And while she didn't say she's doing it, she didn't say she's not doing it, because Cosima sort of says like germline editing could have not just effect on the baby if it goes wrong, it could go down the line and affect many different generations after that. And the science in this episode really fascinated me. It really did. It's sort of like, I'd like to say I like science, but I don't at the same time. So it's sort of like, this really sort of fascinated me, and it sort of got me wanting to sort of like research a bit. Not that I have, but I will. How many hours in the day, people? And then we have the family dinner. But guess who Felix is invited? Adele. Which kind of defeats the point of a safe house, really. Because really it was a dumb move on Felix's part. He's being a bit immature, because like, bringing Adele to the rabbit hole, knowing they are in a safe house for a reason, they're trying to keep on the low. So by bringing Adele there, it's sort of, who, as much as you come and profess she's your sister, still has not been vetted enough, but is not known enough to sort of be like, I'm gonna bring her here. Because I mean, she's still a bit sketchy, let's be honest. It's just sort of a really sort of dumb and selfish move, I suppose. Like, I get you're having a issue with Sarah, but think about Mrs. S, think about Kira. There are others in this situation that it could affect if things go wrong than just the person you don't like at the minute. And then they're fighting, and I'm just like, Felix, because he then says to her, are you an arsehole, or is it that thing in your face? So we're like, what the fudge? And then he throws food at her, and we're like, I kind of get he sort of doesn't want her buying in, and sort of like, well, you know, you're not my sister technically. But at the same time, I can sort of see Sarah's point of view. She didn't choose to know she's really related to Mrs. S and Kendall. She still views Felix as her real brother. Like, nothing in her eyes has changed. Because really it hasn't. She just found out she's a bit more related to them than actually thought. Whereas, and also, I sort of see Felix's side that sort of, that's what changes it for him, because he feels like he doesn't belong. So in both senses, it's sort of like it's kind of a difficult thing, but they do need to get it together. And then Mrs. S is being the mother of the situation, breaking the children up, you know. And we go back to Brightbourne. Sorry, I'm getting pins and needles in the leg. And we see Donnie spying on Crystal, who's stealing from the minibar of cosmetics. And so Donnie goes in and pretends to be one of the staff, and she's sort of like, oh, I want a massage. So then they go in. He gets into all the weirdest places, this Donnie. Like, he gets into situations. So he pretends to give her a massage, and there we go and see Susan Duncan, who's talking about like the clones being in the building, and we see the tree chopper lady. I had a feeling they would be connected to Susan Duncan in a way. But yeah, what does Evie mean when she says, remember the last time they had a self-aware clone come into the building? And that's why I'm assuming they mean Beth, and that's how she got her scar. Don't go kissing la 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 la. Don't go kissing again, I cannot speak. Don't go killing Cosima, because they talk about like eliminating one of them, and I'm like, don't you dare. And when she's sort of like, you know, I'm in the healing arts too, I'm a beautician. Like, and when she's sort of talking about like how pregnant people are the most sort of needy in her eyes, and she's sort of saying, Mama has a mustache, Mama needs a bleach. And then she goes on to talk about why she's really there, how she believes Dyad is conducting human experiments, sort of like how right she is. And she goes on to talk about stem cells, and that there was a woman who had stem cell treatment who grew teeth on her eyelid. Yeah. And then, this is the big part, she goes on to talk about how she was in a bad shape, and that how that French blonde, if that French blonde doctor hadn't have helped her. And I think the bomb just dropped. Do you mean Delphine? And even Donnie's like, do you mean Dr. Cormier? And it's all like, we have our first mention of Delphine! Yes! Yes! So then Cosima in her scrap, she's gonna play doctor. Yeah, what is this baby ward? She goes into this sort of watch area of this one room full of pregnant ladies. It's a bit like, is this Big Brother for pregnant people? The music there was very good. I liked it. I tried to find it. If anybody knows what the song was, you know, thank you. Because I tried to find it. It didn't say what it was, so I was a bit like, oh, it was such a good song though. But then she oversees this nurse talking about being paid, that they're considerably well paid, and that this lady's talking about going home to see her son, and she says you'd be disqualified from the study if you left. And it's like, what study? What study? Ooh, email. Ooh, more email. I'm a popular person today. Not really, 2 emails in a day. And then we go back to Crystal, and she's walking out and sort of saying, you know, you will hear from my lawyers about trapping me here. But then she passes Ira, who she recognises because of Rudy and Miller. We go into what's probably one of the best scenes of Orphan Black that I've ever watched. Like, it's where it all clicks into place. Cosima is pulled into helping this woman give birth, and the patient is sort of being like, it was wrong. Her mum said it was wrong. I'm like, what was wrong? And then like, God forgive her. So then she gives birth, and the baby that comes out has this collapsed in face. I think it's the nose was sort of in the mouth, and it sort of all clicked into place for the viewers and for Cosima that they are experimenting on embryos and babies to sort of trial and error make a perfect human. The way it comes about is very shocking, but I think it's very clever the way they did it. So like, they've done that to deliberately cause that, to deliberately give this baby that, to sort of see what parts of the human anatomy causes that. And then we see Susan Duncan, the double for Cosima. And I feel for Cosima, because she's sort of like, I meet my maker and this is what you're doing. Like, yeah, to suddenly sort of be like, you haven't stopped at me, you are continuing this barbaric experiment, per se. I thought this was a very good scene, one of the best from Orphan Black, where they sort of confront each other. I thought Tatiana Maslany deserves an award, and Susan's like, is allowing her judgment to cloud her, like allowing emotions to cloud her judgment, which is kind of what she said to Rachel when she was making her decision on whether to give Charlotte immune suppressive treatment or to keep it for science, and that she should think like a scientist. And then Evie's going on about how Brightborn has identified genes that have allowed them to eliminate hundreds of childhood illnesses. And Cosima's, I was like, go Cosima! Like saying, these are human beings you are tinkering with, that trial and error without consent is barbaric. And although Evie says the carriers are being well compensated, does that justify the baby that she just saw? Does that justify what they are doing to all those babies? And that the long-term effects, like saying that she's sick, it's a bit like when I was ill. The treatment I had was just out of sort of the, not starting blocks, but it was very experimental, it was very new. I only had it because my doctor at the time had been to a event per se, and the people there were talking about it. So really that is the only reason I had it, and at the time they didn't know the effects that the treatment would have, like having it directly injected into your head. So in a sense I can sympathise with Cosima because they sort of didn't know the long-term effects it would have, and when you think about it now, I have a lot of long-term effects. So in that sense I can see where Cosima's coming from, and that she's saying she's sick because of it. like, well, she said she's sick, and then Susan's like, you're dying. And I'm like, why did you have to mention that? I love Cosima, I don't want her to die. So then she puts Cosima, not in her place, but she really sort of gives Cosima a lot to think about, because she's sort of saying, Cosima knows she doesn't have the resources or the ability to be able to cure herself. If she gives them Kendall Malone, they can work on it together to cure all the sort of cyclones. Whereas I sort of think, I don't know, I think Susan Duncan has her own agenda when it comes to that. And then we go back to Sarah and Kira. And Kira is talking about how she knows how Sarah and the sisters feel. It further goes to sort of reason that she is special in some ways. If Dyad and Susan Duncan and all that lot were to find out about this, she would become suddenly hot commodity. And then, in the scene that I think most people would have gone, oh my holy gee, Laura. Ira's in the pool. And then we see Susan Duncan getting in the pool, talking about how, like, they've never been closer to the original as they are now, sort of saying, like, Cosima is at the point where she's going to take the job and sort of give them Kendall Malone. And then they start making out, and I'm like, I did not see this one coming. They're lovers. That would explain why he's been with her all this time, and sort of she's a bit more loving to him than she's to her own daughter. That episode blew my mind. It really did. I think that would have to be one of my favourites of the season, even though we're only halfway through, and possibly the whole show as a whole. And I can't wait for next week. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. I tried very hard to look at the camera today. Cosima's at the top. Also, in good news, I bought I think it's the box set, I'm not too sure. It sort of said it was the box set of the Orphan Black comics, and then I pre-ordered the Helsinki one from Forbidden Planet because I want to read them. And also, I have completed my Funko Pops Orphan Black collection. I've ordered Rachel Duncan with the pencil in the eye, and Felix. Also, I ordered, because on Forbidden Planet they do not rare ones, but they do special ones, like from Comic-Con and things like that in America. I ordered the Elena with a Parker jacket. So I was hoping they'd arrive today. They haven't, so I'm hoping tomorrow. Oh, another email. I'm so popular. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. I did. I'm sorry if you hear my family. They are so noisy. At this Orphan Black UK convention that could happen. Please do make that happen, because you will make my life. I will pay for gold. Like, I will. I did find someone that likes Orphan Black, besides people on Twitter. I go to this group for home ed people, and one of the mums who I actually went on holiday with turned out to be an Orphan Black fan, and I was like, apparently her favourite is Helena. Yeah, if you would comment below, that would be lovely. If you'd subscribe, that would be lovely. Cat hugs, you know. One day I will get my cats on camera and show you they just don't love me, despite how much I love them. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.